really helps.
Let the printer run when your work's all done, and it turns out neat.
What a treat! My work's complete.
See you soon.
It's the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway, and get ready for Snoops. He's a college professor, she's a diplomatic liaison, and they're having the time of their lives, while others are losing theirs. Get ready for Tim Reed and Daphne Maxwell Reed, the most stylish twosome ever to solve a crime. Get ready for Snoops, Friday on CBS. And now, you have a second chance at winning any unclaimed grand prizes by entering the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway Second Chance Sweepstakes. Look for details here at Kmart.
Caca, bitches. Caca, caca.
AIDS is a killer that does not discriminate. All Americans need to know the basic facts. Write AIDS, Box 14252, Washington, D.C. 20044.
Get a little closer. Now don't be shy. You can get a little closer with Arid Extra Dry.
Only Arid has a patent on this formula that fights wetness. No leading deodorant spray stops odor better. And now Arid has a new baby fresh scent. It smells,
Get a little closer with the baby fresh scent of Arid Extra Dry.
Arid fights wetness and odor, now in a new baby fresh scent.
Domino's Pizza delivers quality. It takes fresh baked quality to avoid the Noid. We keep the Noid out and all the quality in. So avoid the Noid. Call Domino's Pizza now for hot quality pizza. Domino's Pizza delivers.
I won't put on my bikini till I take it off with Cocoa Butter Neat.
I won't put on my jogging shorts till I take it off with Cocoa Butter Neat.
Neat works better than razors. Look, razors only cut at the surface, but Neat works below skin surface. 5 days later, you see stubble on the razor leg, but the Neat leg is still smooth, so you look better in your bikini.
Before I go out with Billy, I take it off with Cocoa Butter Neat.
Cocoa butter lotion and now cream, too. Neat for smoother legs longer.
There really is a Kentucky Fried Chicken school.
Yep, today we're making the Colonel's original recipe.
What have you learned?
Fresh chicken makes the best chicken.
And that we use 11 herbs and spices.
Oh, but that's the Colonel's secret. And special pressure cooking.
So it's always tender and juicy.
Looks like you've learned to make great chicken.
Only way to serve our customers right.
It's so nice to live, so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The big question about new Nerd cereal is, which side are you gonna eat first?
Orange flavor on this side.
Orange!
Cherry flavor on this side.
Cherry!
So?
Which side are you gonna eat first?
They're both so delicious, I can't decide.
New Nerd cereal is the fruity good part of your complete breakfast.
Which side are you gonna eat first?
Which side are you gonna eat first?
Also available in grape and strawberry.
Nerds. Don't be fooled into thinking that a drink will make your problems go away. Hey, it won't. Alcohol only adds another problem. Be smart. Don't start.
What's next on the lineup? A station break.
We'll take over.
Have you DJ'd before?
No.
No? But we do a morning talk show.
All the time.
Snap, it's the snappiest sound to do. Crackle, get you crackin', 'cause it's crispy through and through. There's no stopping once pop starts popping. Snap, crackle, pop, talking just to you.
You've just heard Kellogg's Rice Krispies, the talking part of your complete breakfast.
Morning listeners know Rice Krispies is a hit.
Give me a mountain and nothing to do.
Yeah, I thought we were going live already.
Well, I mean, we're live, but we're now going Mike's live. All right. So now what I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to take that mouse right there. That mouse right there. And then I'm going to need you to move it over here where it says scenes to shelf. Yeah. There you go.
Hey, baby. Yeah. Bitches. What?
Just give it a little test recording.
Will security please
with
report
the tinfoil hat.
I think it's half sack.
Oh, is
I think
that
it's Half Sack or Little Rick, or it come from the half hour Half Sack guys.
Do you boys know if I can rotate this a little more, or will it fall off?
It might fall off if it's hitting that table. I'm unsure.
It's resting on the table right now. That's fine, Russ. Just leave it. This is fine. Can you all hear me?
No, not real well. Unplug and replug that microphone. I think that cable's going bad.
Unplug and replug the microphone itself.
In the bottom of that mic.
He's Catholic. He knows all about sticking it in the bottom. It's hot in here, dude. Do you have the air off?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm fat and I generate heat.
Me too. It wasn't when I came in here.
Yeah. But yeah, so my ass was fully excited to go into the garage and hit that elliptical Thursday morning. And here I am going to bed about 20 minutes before I would normally get up to go hit the elliptical. I was like, fuck that shit. I'll start next week. That's what I get for planning.
All right, Kyle, talk to me. Hello. No, I can't. I muted you so you didn't pop. Try it now.
Trying again. Much better.
Greetings and salivations.
Hello, I'm salivating.
Would you like to see my black wiggly thing?
No.
It's black and it wiggles.
No.
I'm going to be a hard pass on that myself, buddy.
Well, you were wiggling his black wiggly thing.
We don't talk about that on air.
Why not? We've got video.
You took a video of it?
Are we listening to Christmas music?
I don't know. That sounds like fucking Christmas music.
It's not even Halloween yet.
It's Kmart Christmas music.
Am I gonna have to do the scenes over here while?
You don't have to. Just leave it on the shelf. It'll be fine.
We should listen to the Monster Mash on repeat. That's what you should play.
I was thinking Vampire Surfboard.
That's fine too.
The fuck is Vampire Surfboard?
It's a stupid song that was in Superstore.
I like the dance remix of Grinning Ghosts.
I was gonna go with Werewolf Bar Mitzvah.
Never heard that.
Men becoming wolves.
Do you know what Grinning Ghosts is?
No.
From the Disney's Haunted Mansion?
No.
Have you seen Disney's Haunted Mansion?
The one with Eddie Murphy?
No, the ride.
The last time I went to Disney, I was like 6.
Okay, it was there.
Yeah, well,
it's like
I don't
one of the
remember
oldest
what
rides.
I did last week, bitch.
All right. You don't have to call me by my formal name.
It's polite to say rhymes with witch. Jesus, come on. All right, we about ready to start rolling?
I didn't say rhymes with shunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can roll if you want.
We're rolling.
We can roll if you
What's
want
happening?
to. We can leave your friends behind.
And if your friends don't roll, ain't no friend. There was a big hat controversy at work this week.
A big hat controversy?
Yeah, like we were forbidden from wearing non-postal hats, and it's illegal for us to wear postal hats.
What?
On the roll carrier side. And so I was like, this is like a weird thing for her to like pick to like have a big issue about. And Greg said, well, maybe she was just a big fan of men with no hats.
Oh, but it's men without hats.
Yeah, men without hats. That's what it was, yeah.
That's just fine.
Well, that's why she was a big fan, so we weren't allowed to wear hats. It's so stupid, dude. Yeah. Like, it's like I told her yesterday, I was like, look, like, can we just not? Like, I don't even wear a hat, so I don't care that much. But they're going to file grievances and safety. And,
yeah.
This is a weird thing.
All over again.
It's like, this is just a weird thing to, like, fight about. Like, can you pick something else?
Pick something that fucking matters.
I thought hats were safe. I thought that's why we have hats.
They can obstruct your view.
No, it's because, like, they've been coming down on the uniforms, but we don't have uniforms on the roll carrier side. So they've been coming down on the uniforms, and that's one of the big things they've been on, because a lot of guys will wear their postal uniform, but wear, like, a ball team hat or something like that, or an army hat.
Oh, my God.
So they've been cracking down on that. Well, this week, I guess because they've been cracking down on it, she said, well, no hats. And she applied that rule to us, where we don't have a uniform, and, like, hats are not mentioned in our dress code.
You're currently wearing a uniform shirt.
No.
That's not one you wear for work?
No, I wear this for work. Yeah, this is my work to work outfit.
That's
your
work uniform.
For me, it's my personal work uniform. They don't buy it. I can change it.
You look like a mechanic.
Yeah, I've got that before too. Probably because it's a Dickies work shirt. A lot of mechanics wear those.
You fix my car? I got a squeak. I need somebody to fix it.
Yeah, sure. Belt dressing. Just spray it on.
It's not the belt.
What is it?
It's a tensioner pulley.
Oh.
It's an easy fix. I'm too lazy to fucking do it. And if the pulley decides to seize up, I'm going to ruin the fucking engine. But
Oh, you won't ruin the engine?
It'll ruin the belt, and they'll throw off the timing, and then I
don't think it'll throw off the timing.
It's one of those serpentines that runs fucking everything.
But it's not the timing belt. It's
No,
when the
that's true.
timing belt breaks that it gets the valves and all that shit fucked up.
Yeah, so maybe it'll just, fuck my world up. I don't know.
Like, you'll know as soon as it breaks, trust me.
Fuck yeah. The fucking overheat, and your lights go out, and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello!
Hi. I'm doing okay.
Sorry, do we want to do this?
What?
Are we
I'm
feeling
ready.
it? Are you ready?
I'm in the mood.
Are you in the mood for love?
No.
like making
No.
love.
You know, the best version of that was that dude from South Park with,
Oh,
with the
yeah.
voice box.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was the best version of that song ever. All right, with that, broadcasting live from high atop Pikey Mountain, welcome to Ignorance of the Law. I'm Russ.
I'm Kyle.
And sitting across from me, fiddling with his nibules on the fucking board. What are you doing?
I turned me down a little bit. It was a little too loud.
Oh, okay. You afraid you're going to spike on Twitch again?
No, I know I'm going to spike on Twitch.
Well,
Just
that's
trying not to do as often.
After Lodge Jason. Hi, Jason.
Sirs.
So, Jazz isn't with us today. That's kind of a bummer.
She's slinging that coffee.
It's a total sausage party in here, folks.
She's on
Yeah, and it's hot and sweaty in here, and I kind of feel uncomfortable.
She's on the corner slinging that caffeine.
You know, you shouldn't force her to have to work like that. For all she does for you, you should just be content to support her around here.
I never tried forcing her to get a job.
You know, we've seen what happens. She gets a job. You don't know how to make a sandwich anymore.
Dude,
you can't feed yourself.
Yes, it is a problem for me.
You need to just tell her she doesn't need to work.
She won't do it?
Then start paying her for her work around here.
I don't have that much money.
Oh. Well, you need a second job so you can pay her for that.
I know.
Or this podcast needs to start paying her something.
But if I'm working a second job, then it doesn't really... She's not going to be doing all that stuff for me because I'm not going to be here.
Well, if you're getting paid for the podcast, then it'd kind of be a second job. Dream on, right? So, Kyle, where are you taking us? Are you going to make us play this damn guessing game again?
No guessing games today. Today's going to be pretty straightforward. But I wanted to do a little Ignorance of the Law rewind.
Oh, shit.
Rewind.
Where are you taking us back to?
Well, we're going to visit a law that we talked about earlier.
How early?
Pretty darn early.
Like first episode? Are we talking about Sam Squatch?
No, not quite.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing some research on laws, and I kind of ran into the same old thing where there's so many fake things and just made up things, and I found where Snopes actually investigated one of these just a couple months ago. And Snopes is pretty good, of course.
Yep.
But waving at the
For
camera.
those of you who aren't watching on Twitch, we just had a moment while we were trying to get crap out of the cameras. We apologize for the interruption. Snopes.
So Snopes took one of these laws that we've already talked about, and they really dove into it and investigated it. So I wanted to talk about it again.
So you're saying they did a better job than us?
Yeah.
Well, there's a fucking...
We should have pre-Snopes.
Well, pre-snipe Snopes.
I don't trust anything that comes out of Snopes. It's well known that it's run by the liberal media.
Yeah, who gives a shit? They get paid for it.
It's a George Soros.
Who's George Soros?
Really?
Some dude? What?
This rock you live under is
what?
Massive. He's a huge Democrat donor.
So why should I care?
Well, anytime like some media outlet says something bad about a Republican, the comeback is, oh, it's fun about George Soros. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Koch brothers on the other side. Like every time something...
Who?
The Koch brothers.
Who are they?
They're a huge Republican donor.
They like cocaine?
No, it's spelled different.
K-O-C-H.
Yeah.
Oh, so cock.
Well, they will actually pay you to pronounce it Coke.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, Koch brothers, if you can hear me, pay me money.
Oh
I'll
my
pronounce
God.
it Coke.
Well, it's Koch brother now because one of them just recently
Russ,
died.
literally a hitman's going to be waiting for you at your house.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
you've messed up.
That's if my wife doesn't shoot his ass when he comes up the driveway.
No, but Democrats say the same thing. Like every time like something comes out, it's like, oh, it's funded by the Koch brothers.
Right.
So
Doesn't matter.
how'd the one brother die?
I think they were like $1 billion. I think that like old age. I think
it
he
was old
finally
age.
turned into dust.
It
like,
wasn't autoerotic or
like the dude from the Indiana Jones movie after he
Right.
drunk from the cup. He just
skeleton.
kind of turned into the skeleton and blew away.
melted like that fucker
Yeah.
from
Raiders
of the Lost Ark.
No.
Yeah, no, they were old.
Ah.
Or I mean, one of them still is pretty old, I reckon.
Didn't get abducted by aliens like Crystal Skull.
No, I don't think so. No,
You don't
that
like
movie
that
doesn't
one, do you?
exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, I don't know why people don't like that. I actually
It's a
kinda enjoyed
garbage
it.
fucking
It's
movie, dude.
bad.
It's fun stupidity for the sake of fun stupidity.
Strong disagree, but that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, but see, like, the first Indiana Jones movies, which are all really good, they're not just fun stupidity. They're fantastic.
Yes.
They're masterpieces. They're like some of my favorite movies ever. And then you Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, and it's like, why? Stop.
Like, why bother with it?
I kind of feel the same way about Star Wars. It's like, some people are like, oh, well, they're fun, and it's got space. And I'm like, yeah, but...
Yeah, so
But here's the
Star
thing
Wars
about-
is a movie about a runaway who's abducted by a pedophile and then gets kidnapped by a dude and his dog
He's not a
and forced to
pedophile.
fight in a war that's not his.
He's not a pedophile.
Here's the thing about Star Wars. I mean, we're deep in fucking tangent territory right off the bat.
Well, aren't we always?
Here's the thing about Star Wars is there's plenty of plot holes and stupid things in a Star Wars movie, but a good Star Wars movie, when you're watching them, you don't realize that. It's only later you're like, wait a minute, why would they do that?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And that makes for a good Star Wars movie because you're having it's about Star Wars is about watching it right now.
Right.
So when you're watching a Star Wars movie and you're like, wait a minute, that's stupid. That would never work. If I'm finding your plot holes in a Star Wars movie, you
Right.
just made a bad Star Wars movie.
Exactly.
And the last one was a bad Star Wars movie.
I haven't watched anything since the prequels.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
You know, the prequels kind of turned me off. I felt like I was date raped or something. It was a horrible.
Dude,
well, in a way you
Hashtag
were.
me too.
that first one was trade negotiations.
Oh fuck, intergalactic trade. Just why? Why, George Lucas? Why? Why are we doing
It's
this to ourselves?
fascinating.
And I was willing to forgive him for that, but then when they went back and digitally remastered the originals, and they had that re-release, and that was right about that
Yeah.
same time that like Spielberg went and took the guns out and put walkie-talkies in their hands because God forbid we see fucking guns on TV. Yeah, that kind of turned me out. That's why I don't go to movies. That's why I don't buy movies. I very rarely watch anything modern anymore.
Yeah, well, those are all old movies.
I know
for
they
the
are.
record. The Force Awakens was good. You ought to watch that one. It feels like watching a Star Wars movie. You're like, Star Wars.
Is that on Netflix?
I think it was. I'm not sure.
I'll have to look. Might be worth
Might
it.
be. It's
I don't know.
Force Awakens. worth it.
I've still got to finish making it through The Office for the third time, and
Oh.
then I've got to go back through Parks and Rec again. And then you told me that I need to watch Community.
Community's good.
Yeah, I haven't. That's the one with Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase is in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't seen any of that yet. So I still haven't made it through Trailer Park Boys. That
Trailer Park
several
Boys. If you're
seasons
not
in, it's just kind of.
If you're not into it, you're not into it.
Yeah, and then what's this other one? Something about Letterkenny or some such shit?
Letterkenny's good.
But I have to have Hulu for that, right?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, so I'm probably not going to go to that. What the hell were we talking about? Snopes, right?
The law.
We didn't even get to the law yet.
But it's something on Snopes.
Yeah, it was on Snopes. So, the law we're going to talk about...
Do we get to guess which one?
Well, I mean, if you want to, but you won't.
Is it the one about pregnant women peeing in the hats of cops?
No. This is from, like, one of the
Dude,
first
that's
episodes.
like a fetish for you. Like, you bring that up every episode now. Like,
Mhm.
I think you're really
Well,
into
we've only
pregnant
had
women
like
peeing.
one episode since then.
Yeah, but it's right there.
It was interesting.
You're always like 3 steps away from pregnant women pissing.
Well, you know, it's this new fetish around.
I don't want to see your search
It's right there
history.
with like choking, I guess. I don't know. So what's the law then?
So remember the law in Arizona supposedly limiting the number of dildos a person can own.
Oh,
Remember
so we're
that?
going back to the adult themes episode.
Yeah. Remember
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
So the law was something like people can only have up to 5.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
it can include books.
And we determined that Jason is officially a felon in Arizona.
Right.
Did we?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I don't remember, but we probably did.
So apparently...
Wait, divided by how many people? Does it matter how many people are in the car? Is it like...
It just says in possession.
So, it like... How many people's in the car?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not like a fishing limit where it's, per person.
Oh, well. All right.
So apparently, back in December of 2018, a trendsetter on Twitter...
On Twinder?
On Twinder, renewed interest in this suspicious law when she posted... Hey guys, I just learned that in Arizona it's illegal to have more than 2 dildos in your house. So dildo control is okay, but gun control is controversial. Haha, you guys. Whatever. It got like 15,000 retweets and a billion
Liberal
likes.
media?
Yeah, goddamn liberals.
It's very snarky.
Was George Soros behind that one?
Probably.
Yeah, it was one of his one of his goonies.
So what, is he anti-dildo? Is George Soros anti-dildo?
He's pro-dildo.
No, he's
anti-gun.
He's pro-dildo.
Pro-dildo, anti-gun.
Mm-hmm.
But some dildos shoot, but not bullets, I guess.
Yeah. There's never going to be a dildo school shooting.
Somebody comes in with dildo chucks, starts hitting the kids. Okay, so there is a video out there somewhere, and if somebody can find it, it's fucking hilarious. Somebody had one of those suction cup dildos,
Yeah,
and they in a gymnasium they
threw it on the
it
wall.
The dude with a broom trying to knock it off the wall. All over the place.
It's stuck. Yeah, it's hilarious.
So my favorite one like that is it looks like an all girls school, and they've drawn a cat on the whiteboard. Goes to erase it, but in permanent marker they've drawn a penis that is now incorporated into the cat drawing, and you can see the teacher's face like, I cannot laugh at this.
Who knew the cat dick could turn into a pussy so easy?
Oh, I didn't even think about the the sex change. That adds a whole new layer to that joke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so reread the quote for us there, Kyle.
Whatever. She just said, I just learned in Arizona it's illegal to have more than 2 dildos in your house.
So she's a felon.
When she made this tweet and it got retweeted so much, that's when Snopes went in and investigated.
So she was just pissed off that she was actually a felon in Arizona? Is that what it is?
I don't think she even lives there.
Well,
she might not even be American.
Then the fuck does it matter to her?
Well, we live in a culture of outrage, and you have to be offended by everything, even if it doesn't affect you. Yeah, absolutely, Russ. Welcome.
Oh, crap, I'm doing this wrong.
Welcome.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
A society?
Gamers rise up.
What?
Gamers rise up.
Oh.
So here's
What
the
are you
thing.
talking
Another internet joke.
Here's
You either got it or you didn't.
Russ doesn't get all the new
I know.
internet memes.
And I keep making them, and I don't know why.
So
you know,
here's
the
thing.
videos I see that I think are new are like 12 years old, and y'all are like, yeah, I saw that when I was a kid. It's like, I don't fucking know. What? Sorry.
All right, so here's the thing. That's actually not a law at all. And so I don't know if we realized that or not.
I don't know. We were too caught. No, we actually found the freaking the thingy.
Yeah, you read a thing.
So we
we
found
had all the statutes.
We probably found the bill because it was a bill, but it was never
But it
passed
never
into
was
law.
passed into law. Oh.
So
it
here's
was
the
just a
thing.
bill sitting on Capitol Hill.
Oh,
Right.
Jesus Christ.
So Arizona State Representative Leslie Johnson, a Republican from Mesa, attempted to pass.
Of course.
Well, hold on.
Leslie Johnson, a Republican. Of course she wants to live
Johnson. Her last name is Johnson.
Johnson wants a dildo.
Yeah. She attempted to pass an obscenity law in the 1980s aimed at regulating pornography and banning the sale of dildos. House Bill 2613, which was...
But not Hitachis. Hitachis,
Right.
you can
They're
have
fine.
a closet full.
They're fine.
As long as it doesn't look like a penis.
Those are back massagers.
Yeah, they're used for massaging sore muscles.
Sure.
This was later dubbed the dildo bill, and it would have made the commercial sale or possession of obscene devices such as dildos a felony. You can find news articles as far back as December 1987 talking about the proposed state bill. Let's see here. The original proposal focused only on the sale of obscene devices and not the ownership. However, a provision of the bill stated that ownership of 6 or more would be considered proof to sell, or proof of intent to sell, and therefore that would be a felony.
Wait. It's like when the cop says you ain't gonna smoke all this weed yourself. It's, fuck you, I'll smoke it right here.
You're not gonna fuck yourself with all those dildos. So 6 or more.
We'd like to see you try. Yeah, apparently.
It's all at the same time. Well, I mean, that's the kind
one
of
for every room of the house. You never know when the mood's going to strike.
Well,
God forbid you got to walk to
you
another
have to
room.
clean them, and so when a couple of them are in the dishwasher, then you have a few that are ready to go.
You're supposed to clean those in the dishwasher?
Of course.
Is that where you clean yours?
Where else would you clean them, Russ?
I don't know. The dildo washer? I don't know.
What?
Put them in the washing machine?
What? They do sell UV light dildo cleaners now, so.
Could you imagine them in the washing machine? That would.
You have to put that in the dryer on delicate, low heat. You don't want your dildo to shrink in the dryer.
Need you to switch it over.
You got to clean out the lint drawer.
That's not lint, honey.
Right.
Oh, shit. So, keep going, Kyle. Read more.
All right.
Read
more.
more.
The bill obviously faced some ridicule from members of the public. Some Arizonans bought bumper stickers reading, "When dildos are outlawed, only outlaws will have dildos."
We need to get some of those. Where's Jazz when we need her to find shit on the internet?
She's slinging that coffee on the corner.
It was eventually passed by both the House and Senate. Ultimately, however, the governor vetoed the bill.
Thank God for reason.
Yeah, no shit. Was he a Democrat or a Republican?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Or was it a she?
It says dildo ownership, however, was not at the center of the decision to veto the bill. It was based more on the term obscenity and how it is defined and how that would possibly be enforced.
Well, I can't tell you what's porn, but I know what it is when I see it. Is that what you said it is, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, that's the definition of pornography, is I know it when I see it, according to, I think it was the Supreme Court. Like, I don't know. I can tell you when I see it.
So Governor Mofford said she fully supports the enforcement of tough laws.
Female governor.
Yeah. She fully, and in Arizona.
She didn't want to become a felon.
I guess not.
She probably already had.
She was already guilty.
Yeah, she didn't want to be.
Hang on. But do women really buy, like, anatomically correct sex toys? I feel like they buy ones that are not.
No,
I feel like they're more about the job getting done than the appearances.
Can you text Jazz and ask her?
I don't think Jazz would answer that question even if she was here.
We need like a women's opinion on this because
my wife should be home.
I don't know. Does it matter? I mean, it
maybe it's the real Phil.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, Russ.
I don't know.
Why don't you try one? Let us know what the difference is between the two.
Only if you try it too.
No, I'll pass.
We can compare experiences.
No. I don't want to be in a room with you trying out dildos.
I didn't say we have to do it at the same time.
Still, it's a little weird.
I'll put it in the dishwasher first and then give it to you.
I'm going to be a hard pass on that. It's going to be a negative.
So the female governor said no.
Right.
But now in Alabama, it is illegal because I've read tons of articles where they went in and raided all of the Spencers in Alabama at one time.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, but that may have something to do with where they're selling it in a...
No, this was about the sale. It was illegal to sell any of it in Alabama.
But was it the outright sale of the things,
or
was it the fact that it was in a store that kids could go into?
It was the sale.
So here's the thing. The reason she vetoed it wasn't because she disagreed. It was because of the wording.
She had too much invested?
No, the wording. So she said she believes the bill is unconstitutional because of its use of the term obscene. Like, how do you define obscene?
So that makes it subjective.
Right, and because it's subjective...
To me, Golden Corral's obscene. So
it is.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
But I would really like to see somebody try and put obscene into a straight-up definition in the law. I mean, can you imagine the detailed descriptions of vain dildos and just how far down they'd have to go that rabbit hole.
I don't know where you draw the line between a back massager and
I don't
a
know.
sex toy.
What
how
was
do
it?
you know?
George Carlin used to say you could kill anybody with a spoon if you tried hard enough. You can fuck anybody with anything if you try hard enough. I mean,
Well-
you can turn just about anything into a dildo.
That's true. That water bottle you had early was
Yeah,
very
you were eyeing
suggestive.
that pretty badly there. Do you need to be alone with it?
It looked like one of those joke ones that like people have in those shops, like along the wall. Like there's always like a few that nobody's ever gonna buy.
Oh, the
that's, like,
Mr.
that big
Fister?
around. Yeah. The
There's
butt
always
plugs
somebody
are,
that
like,
buys
big
that.
around. I don't think so. Not that's still living anyway. I feel like that would end your.
I think so. I think you'd have to wear adult diapers after trying one of those
I
things.
feel like
out.
it would end your career. I feel like that is a showstopper for sure.
That's what it's called, the showstopper.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so thank God Arizona is allowed to possess dildos.
Right. So anyway, where was I? So she
Dildos.
vetoed it, right? And the bill had a provision that was going to allow juries to vote at certain intervals what books, movies, and objects are obscene by using their own standard of acceptance.
Oh, so books and movies were included in this.
Everything, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And they were going to have a jury, like a supposedly random jury that would vote on what's acceptable versus what's not.
This is digging way into free speech. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Yeah,
and so that's why she said it's unconstitutional.
Like books. Books are just words, man.
Yeah, but I've seen some of these books, and they are pretty fucking obscene.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's how it starts. It starts with the smut books with Fabio on the
Slippery
cover.
slope.
Yep.
And, next thing you know,
it's moist.
To Kill a Mockingbird is too racy, so we gotta get rid of it. Don't want to upset the childrens with the Boo Radleys.
Well, and we're not even gonna go there.
Well, where are we gonna go? Maybe I want to go
No,
there.
we're not going anywhere.
Man, I want to
We're talking about dildos. Why you want to go somewhere else?
We're talking about obscene.
Are you feeling uncomfortable?
Talking about obscene matter now. They were including books in this.
Yes.
That's much. So if I had 6 dirty books in my house, that's the same as having 6 dildos in my house.
Only if you're using the books as dildos, right?
No.
Oh, really?
No. But
So
we're
you
almost
just
to
have
that
to-
part. You have to wait for it. We're
Sir,
almost to
obviously
that
you
part.
have an
There's a
intent-
part about books with dildos?
Well, maybe.
Dildo books?
Kind of. Almost.
I just wanted to say dildo again.
I know. You
Dildo.
Yeah.
You can take our books, but you'll never take our imaginations.
Suddenly, those kids who draw the anime figures are really popular.
Sears catalog is still delivered to only that state.
Come on, Kyle.
I
keep
need to
going.
hold on. Take a breath.
He's remembering the Sears catalog.
Fondly remembering. Okay.
Ooh.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The bra pages. Oh, there's boobies.
Just a thin layer.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
A thin piece of cloth between you and heaven.
Oh, Lord.
He probably doesn't even remember the Sears catalog.
Probably not.
I know what you're talking about.
He's got some of them still at home with the pages stuck together.
No.
The Wish book comes, it's like that fucking big. Then you spend the next 2 weeks going through every single page looking at the toys,
Yep.
circling the shit you want that you're never going to get.
Exactly.
Yes. So let's see here.
Did you get lost?
Yeah, there's a lot of text here. I'm trying to find where I was.
We can go back to making fun of you for Sears catalogs and.
No, you're good.
JCPenney catalogs used to be. The
They
same
weren't,
way.
yeah.
They weren't nearly as good
Oh,
as the
here we
Sears
go.
catalog. But
They weren't.
So the governor, Johnson, oddly insisted that dildos were used solely to abuse. No, sorry. Let me read this over again. Johnson, who oddly insisted that dildos were used solely to abuse children, filed
What?
filed
We're
similar.
back to the dildo chucks again.
Right. She filed similar legislation the following
was
year.
That?
What was that?
I don't know. Something just went thump outside. Go investigate. Get your gun. Get your dildo chucks. Folks who are listening at home, something just went boom outside. Jason is investigating. He has stepped outside onto the porch. He's looking around confused. He declared he doesn't know what it was, and he came back in. This concludes our narration of Jason's journey. Welcome back. Didn't see anything?
No, Amy's home. Did it sound like maybe a car door shutting?
No, because unless she slammed the damn thing.
She does.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she not home earlier?
No, she's not got home.
Oh.
A few minutes
That
ago,
was probably it.
That might have been it.
All right, so anyway.
We should have her come and voice her opinion on Dildo Chuck.
She's going to take a nap.
Oh, that's right. She naps.
Maybe after her nap, you could get an
we
honest opinion out of her.
We don't want to talk to her before the nap.
No.
Is it like you when you first wake up?
It's kind of like, you know, like how, like when you got to pee real bad and you're already in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
If something happens between the door of the bathroom and the toilet, you might just piss yourself. Amy's like that with her nap when she pulls in the driveway. You can't stop her from here to the bed. If you do, bad things are going to happen to you, personally.
Gotcha. So you stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were we at? Something about dildos?
So the governor oddly insisted that dildos were used to abuse children, and she filed similar legislation the following year. However, the Arizona House of Representatives amended some of the language, replacing the word dildo with child molestation devices, and at that point, Governor Johnson killed the legislation.
What?
I'm not going into detail on this. I just don't understand why you would get that ideal.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. So, child molestation devices.
Yeah, is there such a thing?
I mean, are these devices that are specifically made for the purposes of molesting children, or are these anything that can be used or has been used for the molestation of that child?
Maybe they don't understand how, like, the little vibrators work, and they think that, like...
They're for kids?
Yeah.
That's a good point. They don't understand
They are
women.
pretty stupid.
They don't understand women's anatomy.
They don't.
That's a good point.
Well, that
maybe... Look how small this is.
This can't be for a woman. This must be for a child.
Right.
And why's it got this little tiny end on it that vibrates?
Why is it going off?
Well, you never seen one of those on the end of the egg that it's got the little tiny plastic piece that like vibrates back and forth? Like it looks like alfalfa's hair. It's fucking crazy. I don't know. Not that I know personally.
Is that what those French ticklers are in the bathroom at the gas station?
No, those never use those. Those are spiky and weird. I don't know a single one. Like, it's something that gotta be like, yeah, it looks like a good idea. And a woman's like, you get that the fuck away from me.
I don't know. I've been seeing those things in gas station bathrooms since I was a kid, and they've always said new and improved. And it's like it's been, 30 years now since I first saw them. How are they still improving them? Or,
no.
I mean, they look exactly the same on the picture as they did back then.
They just keep making them out of softer and softer rubber.
I don't know, but who the hell trusts those things? I mean, how do they actually stock those things on a regular basis?
I would imagine not. I
what,
don't know
gas
anybody
station
that would ever
condoms?
buy
Yeah,
them.
gas station condoms.
No, gas station condoms, I would say they do.
But what about like the ticklers and the
Those, I wouldn't.
rings?
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
The cock brother rings. I mean, the cock rings.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy one of those.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I can't imagine it being sanitary.
It's probably not.
I mean, it's been in that bathroom.
If
where
you're buying a fucking sex toy out of a gas station bathroom, you've already made some bad decisions up to that point.
Yeah, to get you into that situation.
You're probably not going to catch anything you don't already have.
But I think so. I think that the taboo that has gone, that they used to be on purchasing those things, has kind of gone by the wayside. At least, in most areas. Obviously not Arizona, but.
Well, that was in the 80s.
I mean,
I'm sure they've come along.
We were in K. Rogers, and so
there's like half an hour now.
So we were over there looking for eye drops.
Yeah,
and
you were in the wrong aisle.
Here I'm looking at the eye drops, and then grab the thing of eye drops and look to my right, and there's like this wall of sex toys and condoms and lubricants, and it's like, I don't remember
it's mostly
those
lubricants.
options being there.
There's very few sex toys in the K. Rogers.
Dude, they've actually got vibrators.
Rings. Oh, do they?
They've
really?
got fucking vibrators in there. They've got rings in there.
That's insane.
It's freaking K. Rogers.
So the big thing is, a lot of the big companies are selling them now. So Trojan has one. Duralast, all the condom companies, they're even making
Duralast.
They're
Trust.
Duracell, you dumb Nimrods.
No, Duralast is the boxing equipment.
That's what it is.
Or is that Everlast?
It's Everlast.
The Everlast is the sing. Used to be House of Pain.
God damn it.
Jump around.
Him, I cannot tell on the air
What?
about somebody I know personally. Like I can't go into it on the air.
Okay, well you're
Remind
gonna
me
have
later.
to you're gonna have to tell us that one.
It's a good one.
I think you mean Durex.
Durex.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can buy a fishbowl of Durex condoms on Amazon.
I know.
What,
That's
is
what the
is
health
that the one
department.
you get too?
No.
No, that's what the health department used to give out. The health department.
They used to give out Durex.
Yeah, they were on the counter. Like the health department that was right next to the high school. You could walk in there and grab a handful of them.
You could.
Yeah.
God, all those years of buying them out of the gas
That's what
station
colleges
bathrooms.
do too these days.
Oh, they never got used when I was in high school. People got them as like a joke
just
and would like
rode around
blow
in
them
their
up
wallet.
and
They're
stuff.
fun
Yeah.
balloons.
Fill them with water and whack people with them.
All right,
Yeah.
so listen up. We got to get back to this law.
Do we? Do we really?
So the thing is, this law went back and forth in the Arizona legislature, and they couldn't figure anything out. They kept on
Did it go
revising
in
it
and out
and
as well?
changing it. It went in and out. It eventually got to the point where the final wording of it said that it was a felony to possess more than 5 sexual devices. However,
But how do we define a sexual device?
right, and that became very difficult. Representative Bobby Raymond, Democrat from Phoenix, famously asked while in court, "Which one of my hands am I going to have to cut off?" Because
That's a man that knows how to do the stranger.
Shift the grip. Shift the grip. Oh my God.
so
Lord.
it apparently, this law or bill made it to the Dumb Laws website back in 1999, and since then it's sort of been a myth online, but it was never actually a real law at all in Arizona.
But they tried really, really hard.
Yeah.
They did try really hard, and
They were trying. It was hard for them to stick it in.
I guess probably all the representatives listened about the hand argument and realized, oh shit, he's kind of right.
Well, and plus, you got to think this is pre-Viagra.
Yeah.
So a bunch of those guys needed these aids to make sure that their junk was a stick and not an earthworm.
Did you know that prior to Viagra, like there was a shot that they put in
Yeah.
their junk and like
Yeah.
I can't imagine sticking a needle in your dick.
You get some dudes got surgery and they had like a
Yeah,
pump
they had like a pump. It was
in,
it was
in
like,
their balls.
It was like the fucking Reebok pump, right?
Yeah.
And you'd like pump it
Yeah.
up and
yeah.
God.
I
damn
didn't
it.
tell you. Did I tell you all I have first-hand experience with this?
No.
I haven't told you all
No,
this.
tell us the story.
So back when I was pre-med, one of the bodies we had in Gross Anatomy actually had that built in.
Oh my God! Please tell me that y'all were pumping up the pecker of a
We
cadaver.
tried. We really tried.
So you fondled the cadaver's nutsack trying to pump up his dick.
So it wasn't the balloon for it wasn't in his nuts. It was over to the side, like kind of in his whatever pelvic hip area.
It seems like it'd be It'd be too be able to be accidentally activated too often.
Yeah, but
Was there like a relief valve on the bottom of his pecker that like let
there's
the
no
air
relief
out?
valve. You just have to wait patiently. and
It just leaks out slowly?
Probably suffer. Yeah. It
So-
didn't. It didn't look pleasant.
So why weren't you able to get his?
Well, he was already embalmed.
Oh.
He's like rigid and
Yeah, but it's
full
not.
of
It's not
embalming fluid.
pumping air and it's not pumping blood into his pecker, is it?
No, it's just air. But when
So you can't
when
get a
somebody's
st- you
been
can't
dead
get a
like that,
stiffy when you've got- when
you
you're
can't even
embalmed?
move their fingers. Their fingers are so stiff you can't even bend them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So you're saying that his pecker was stiff?
it was rock solid.
Rock
well,
hard.
Not in the proper
it's-
way.
yeah. It's like a. It's
It was
like a,
petrified
it's
in
a-
its earthworm form.
It's
Petrified chub. Oh my God! You remember when Hustler had that rating scale where it was
No.
like a half chub? chub and-
No.
You remember that?
No.
Don't look at me like that. You know you remember that,
dude. I don't.
You don't remember the video reviews in Hustler where it was like they
Hustler was like
I don't
not
know what y'all are talking
like
about.
No, Hustler like wasn't a thing. Like whenever I was a teenager, like we had magazines, and sometimes they would be really old hustlers.
Right, and they had like the movie reviews that was like a
Nobody
quarter chub
nobody
and, like, a
hung
half
on to them
chub.
to read the articles.
You didn't read the articles? Man. Now, why was it that you always find the porn in the middle of the woods?
Because it's like a tradition, man.
But it's like, now I think back on that, it's like all the porno mags I used to find out in the middle of the woods. It's like, how many fucking creepers are there out there jerking it in the middle of the goddamn woods?
It's other kids stealing them from their dads and taking them to the woods.
So
it's like a
out,
suburban thing,
So they run
man.
out behind the tree and just leave it there after they're done?
Yeah, you're not going to... Like, you already took the chance sneaking it out.
You don't want to sneak it
You're
back
not going to
in.
sneak it back in.
I didn't ever experience any of this.
Like, what's your dad going to do? Like, be like, where's my fucking jerk mag, son?
That's right, Kyle. You grew up in the time when porn was free and readily available on the
Yeah.
internet, you fucker.
Sorry.
God, dude, I'm glad it wasn't. I wouldn't have got anything done.
Oh, no shit, really?
Like,
I mean,
I would have flunked
yeah.
out. I would have flunked out of middle school.
Exactly.
out
Exactly.
of middle
Not
school.
a goddamn thing would have been done. Oh, Lord. Man. So, where were we at? Talking about porn. Chubs. Oh, yeah. So you couldn't get the dead guy hard, huh?
No, we tried, but we did remove the pump. We cut it out and surgically removed it to see what it was.
Did y'all play with it afterwards?
Yeah, and
were you able to get it to
when
go
we
up then?
no when we first saw it, we didn't know what it was. I'm looking at it and I thought it was like some kind of I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
We saw the tube and we're like, is this some kind of catheter?
Okay,
What is this?
So is it a tube on the outside of the body?
So basically there's a little balloon pump that is like kind of embedded, kind of like below your belly
Is it
button.
like one of those pumps on like a blood pressure cuff?
Yes, but a lot smaller.
Okay.
Like pretty small and thin. You'd have to pump it probably like 50 or 100 times to fill it up.
Okay. So you have to really be going at it to get hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'd blow my dick off if I had this.
But
pump too
but
far.
then the
this feels like Reebok just tried to resell their fucking idea.
But then a little tiny, like the smallest wire you can imagine, goes from that balloon all the way down to dick. And then somewhere in there, I don't know, there's some kind of balloon in there.
So y'all didn't cut the balloon out of the dick.
I don't think we did.
Because that was going to be my next question. Is it like if it was like a long tube that just inflates?
Yeah,
or
I
is
think
it like
there's a long
the
balloon
bubble
in
wrap
there.
things that you get like packed in your Amazon package?
No,
where...
it's like a long balloon in there, like a bladder type. But when you're dissecting a human body, you kind of stay away from the genitals. It's just kind of like
you do really.
Yeah, it's just
You
like
don't check it out
it's
just to
being
be like
you can check it out. Like
be
you
like
can look.
yeah, mine's bigger than that. Yeah.
Well, you'd be
I
hard.
mean, it's
you'd
hard
be
not-
to,
yeah.
they're full of like 3 gallons of embalming fluid, so their bodies are really, really bloated.
So when you cut into them, do
So-
they like squirt?
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's really, really disgusting.
Yeah. See, I'm glad that the worst we ever had to dissect was like sheep eyeballs or something.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We had to do a pig fetus.
We did the fetus, and we did like a cat, I think.
Nah, we wouldn't.
Fetus isn't bad. When you dissect a human body, if it's a person that's overweight, you could easily spend somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 8 hours scooping out fat.
Just scoop it.
Just to get to the organs.
Like how overweight? Like me overweight?
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
God damn.
It
I
takes
really need to lose some weight.
forever. And it's a pain
I'm
in
glad
the
my
ass.
fat will cause somebody else problems upon my
Yeah,
death.
no shit, right? Donate my body to science just so I can say fuck you one more time.
Yeah. Well, some college kid would appreciate it, actually. So.
Now I don't want them making fun of my dick when I'm dead.
They
It's
won't
bad
make
enough
fun
they
of
make
it.
fun of my dick now.
They don't even know who you are,
A
really.
lot of college kids make fun of your dick now, right?
For the podcast. That's off the air story.
So, this episode may be a 2-parter, maybe. I've got one more law I want to discuss.
Okay, so what's our time
40.
at? 40? Yeah, let's make this a 2-parter,
Sure.
just like the original adult themes episodes.
I think that's fair.
So keep rolling.
Yeah, let's keep rolling. But hey, folks on Twitch, we are going to take a break.
We are?
And yeah, I gotta pee, man.
That's fine. I'm just saying, are we going to do a 2-parter where we actually record the whole thing and split it in 2, or are we going to do actually 2 shows?
Yeah, we're gonna split it in 2.
So do I just keep recording?
Yeah, just keep recording.
Just keep recording. He'll cut it.
That's what I want to know.
We'll cut it in the
Oh,
post.
that's all you wanted to know?
Yeah.
Okay, folks. Join us next time for part 2. I think Jason wants it that way. That way he can hit save. He's afraid of that
No,
server.
I'm not going to hit save.
Oh, you're not?
No, I just want to know what I need to do.
Oh, well, just put us on mute and we'll be back after IP.
People, the federal minimum wage is $3.35 an hour. You may be one of them. Contact the U.S. Department of Labor.
Even Martha Stewart, our entertainment and lifestyle consultant, looks for ways to cut down on her time in the kitchen. And now, thanks to some of our Presto products, she's found them. The Presto Salad Shooter slices, shreds, and grates all kinds of foods in almost no time. So it's great for making everything from salads to pizza to dessert. And for making all sorts of fried foods, there's nothing better than the Presto Fry Daddy. Presto products. Take a little time to pick one up today and save a lot of time later.
Yes, it's Doc Rock, and me and Santa are putting together a Christmas list. So what do you want for Christmas? Sanyo rack system starting at $267. Sanyo car speakers, $5 each. Portable black and white, $49. In-dash AM/FM cassette, $20. Portable VCR with camera, $599. Santa says $1,500 instant credit, 90 days, same as cash, major credit cards accepted, and guaranteed lowest prices, 27th in Memorial. Sell in Saturday.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
It's the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway. And get ready for Gerald McCraney as Major Dad. He's a Marine officer who thought his toughest battles were over till he fell in love with a sizzling civilian and her 3 darling daughters. It's a hilarious battle of the sexes. So get ready for Major Dad, Mondays on CBS. And now you have a second chance at winning any unclaimed grand prizes by entering the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway Second Chance Sweepstakes. Look for details here at Kmart.
Starting this Monday at Zayre, you can save in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ways at our 300 bestseller sale. We've taken 300 of the most popular items we carry, 300 of the things you want most, and priced them to sell like never before. Big things, little things, fashion things, fun things, things you want, things you need. All in this remarkable circular, all in this spectacular sale. The Zayre 300 bestseller sale. Don't miss it.
Mics are unmuted. Mics are unmuted. Mics are unmuted.
Who's Mike?
All of them.
All of them?
All of the mics.
So what is the name of that asshole from Everlast?
Well, if you didn't ask me, I could have probably told you. He goes by Everlast, but I can't remember his real
He
name.
actually goes by that?
Yeah. That's what he goes by.
You can call me Everlast. He goes to Starbucks and they say, "What's your name?" So I can put it on the cup, and he's Everlast.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking stupid.
Soy maca latte for Everlast?
Soy maca latte frappuccino, extra grande, venti.
With a shot of espresso.
Ugh. What? I want to ask Jazz, what is the most ridiculous drink that she has ever had ordered?
Ridiculous drink?
I mean, she could tell you.
And does she actually make the coffee, or does she like just work the counter?
She does everything.
Take the order. So she does.
There's
soup
not
to nuts. She's
not
the
a
barista,
job in there she won't do.
But she's the barista. She's the everything.
Yeah, sometimes she works the window. Sometimes she works the counter. Sometimes she's on the bar, what they call the bar, which is where you make the drinks. Sometimes she's like stocking the order as it comes. Like she does everything there. She's the like assistant manager or something like that. I don't know.
Next thing you know, she's gonna be running her own fucking store. And
Well, she's getting ready to go to E-Town and do that.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a salary position.
Fucking A, man.
I mean, it's not like now, but that's like she's in line for that.
Well, yeah,
position.
but that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like her just driving the 10 minutes there.
You still have to.
E-Town's a pretty little haul.
Have to make your own fucking.
Doing it already?
and-
What the fuck's that gonna be fucking different? Garbage, man.
Sandwiches aren't hard to make, man.
I don't make them good. It's hard.
Yeah, you
You
have
can
to
learn.
You have to get tomato. You have to get lettuce. You have to
Then
get
I gotta slice
onion.
the tomato.
It's worth it. It's worth it to slice the tomato.
I hear what
slice
you're
the onion.
saying.
Pre-slice it. Pre-slice it the day before. Slice
You
a
don't
couple of
slice
them.
tomatoes before you use them. They dry out, sir.
Well,
like
not-
it's not
they don't,
okay.
They don't dry out if you put them in a zippy bag.
Still, they're gonna lose moisture.
They wind up getting a little. Yeah, they do get a little soggy.
They get gross.
Yeah, they are best when they are fresh sliced.
Tomatoes should be fresh.
But it's not hard to slice a tomato, man.
I can slice a tomato. I just can't slice it like in even slices. I cut it in eighths and
Do
then
they-
salt them and eat them.
Do you need a better knife?
No.
Kyle
It's
can
not
help
a
you
knife
with the
issue.
knives.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because normally, like with me, if I have a bad knife, I can't cut it right, and it's because you have to work so much harder at
Well,
it.
yeah, because if it has to punch through the skin
Right.
instead of slice
Exactly.
through the skin, it makes it more
Bruises
likely
it.
you're gonna cut yourself
Yeah.
because it's gonna slide on the skin. It's gonna
Sure.
bruise it. You need to make sure you've got a sharp knife.
Yeah. You gotta have a nice knife.
So even if it's a shitty knife, you need to make sure it's sharp.
Right.
But
I have plenty of good sharp kniffs.
then,
Okay.
what do you need one of those cutters that Have you seen the ones that it holds the tomato and it's got like the
like the deli slicer, but for fruit.
Yeah, but it's got like the slots that
grooves.
guide your knife down
Yeah.
it, so you
No.
get your even slices.
No.
Do I need to get you one?
No.
Would you use it if I got you one?
No.
You just go on having no tomato on your sandwich.
Yep.
That's just wrong, man.
Just get you a paper shredder from Office Depot and just drop the tomato in there.
So get this shit. Talking of paper shredders.
Yeah.
I did not know this. Did you know that when you have a paper shredder,
Mhm.
they actually make pieces of paper that are called oil paper that you're supposed to run through your shredder
What?
every now and
Cheaper
then?
just to buy a new paper shredder every 10 years.
Well, but it supposedly keeps the gears and shit, the shreddy parts oiled. I didn't know this
Wow.
because I bought a paper shredder from Goodwill for $3, and yes, I buy everything at Goodwill. But
it's fine. Thrifty.
Yeah, well, it's somebody else's junk, yeah. So, but it was like $3, and it works. It's a crosscut shredder, and so I was shredding some stuff, and Amber said, "Yeah, we're gonna need to get some oil paper for that." I was like, "What the fuck's in oil
How did
paper?"
she know about it?
Well, evidently,
Maybe she's fucking with you. She run the.
No, so
she's
she-
sending you after a case stretcher, buddy.
Yeah, snipe hunt. No, her last job when we lived in Illinois, that she had to run it through every like 6 months or every so many
Because they were doing a
papers.
lot of paper.
Yeah, depending on
Huh.
how much they had to shred. She
Neat.
said, yeah. So.
You should ask Jordan about it. Jazz's brother.
Well, but he drives a fucking shredder truck. He drives the most awesome truck ever. So, did you hear that about that the marathon show? So you know those big ass trucks that like they shred all the paper, the secure shred, and they like spike the freaking hard drives. And
Yeah. They make decent money.
He drives the truck and he gets to do that shit.
That
Like,
sounds
lucky
fun.
fucker.
It's good. It's decent money, I hear.
I don't know. He's still working a second job, isn't he?
I don't know.
But I think that second job is like in a restaurant that's attached to his house or something.
I don't know.
It'd be nice to have a job that was like
The kid's a free spirit, man.
It'd be nice to have a job where you can just go and you can just perform a task and it's the same task, you know?
I would agree.
Because that's the thing, like if you get into IT or you specialize in something
hang
like
on.
we do.
You just described my job, and it's not as great as you think it is.
Oh, yeah?
Because every day becomes like Groundhog Day.
Oh.
Because I go in and I have the same conversations and I case the same stuff and
You know
then I
what?
go
I
on the
can-
street and
I
have
can
the
totally see
same
that.
conversations and deliver the
But
same
at
stuff.
the same time, so look at from the point of us as IT guys, where
You have no idea what tomorrow's
you have
going to
no
be.
idea what it's going to be. You have no idea
Yeah.
how many hours you're going to work.
And that's just as bad as knowing exactly what tomorrow's going to be.
Yeah.
So you're saying it sucks to work regardless?
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
why they
think
call
it's
it work.
See,
yeah.
back when I was a food scientist, I knew exactly what I was going to be doing. Every hour, I'm going to be doing the same exact tests all day long for 13 hours.
They make you work 13-hour shifts.
3 13-hour shifts.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
you got
What are you
1
talking
hour for
about?
free. They'd pay you for 40. You got 1 hour for free, and they like hyped that up like that was a big deal.
3 days a week, dude.
Yeah, 3 days a
No.
week where you're murdered.
Yeah, of course, but 3 days.
Well, I
That's
really,
a 4-day weekend.
I used to love my 4x10s. My 4x10 shifts were fucking awesome.
4x10 is better than 3x13 because 3x13 you're dead all day Monday, like
Yeah,
all
I
day.
can see that.
And of course, it's gonna be Friday, Saturday, Sunday because that's the only 3 part that works.
Yeah.
So you
When
miss
I-
every weekend.
When I worked for the cable company for a brief time, we were
You worked for the cable company?
brief time.
What'd you do?
I was a lineman.
You're a lineman for the county?
No, for the cable company.
Oh.
But it was 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week. But because you had to have people on call and working on the weekends,
Right.
your 4 days would be like you would get 5 days off and then go back to work and work 4. So your 4 days constantly shift throughout the.
Fuck that shit,
That
man.
sucks.
I liked it.
I've tried the swing shift stuff. I can't.
I mean, it was the
stand
same.
that
No, it was
one.
the same hours. It's just you would take 5 days off and then go work 4, and then take 5 off, so that you were starting a day later every time you
I'd
went
fucking
back.
forget when the hell I'm supposed to show up at work.
Well, yeah, that was an issue. I mean, it wasn't an issue for long. I got out of there pretty quick.
How long did you work there?
I think I worked there probably 7 months.
Oh.
It wasn't fully a year.
Yeah, but that's still a decent chunk of time to.
And I told him when I started, I'm not here for the long haul. I don't want to be here.
I hate this job.
I told him I didn't even want the job.
And they still gave it to you?
Yeah. I said, I'm literally doing this job till I find something.
Was this before or after you were an electrician?
This is after I was an electrician. That's why I got the job. So like they were like, we don't care.
So your dad did like wrecker service, right?
Yeah. I mean, that
Like-
was his second gig. Like, he always worked 2 jobs.
Oh, so what was the primary?
Well, he I can't say the name of the company because it's a local company.
Right, but
he made cooling towers.
Oh, okay.
He was the foreman.
Is it a company that has a couple of initials for their primary designator?
No.
Oh.
They're closed here. There's only one plant left. and
Oh,
it's in
okay.
Kansas
So it's
City.
not the one that I'm thinking of then.
No, it was over on the lane that's like the sweet fruit.
Oh.
But he was a foreman for for the big line out there, and then in the afternoons,
When he'd get off, he just decided he was going to like run a wrecker.
when he got off, he painted cars for years. Was his second thing, and then he decided that he was gonna start a wrecker service and get a AAA contract because he wouldn't have to work all that much. He could just, build the wreckers and hire people to drive them. But he was there every night till like 10 o'clock, so whatever.
So why didn't you go into that?
I did. I worked there for a while.
Yeah, but why'd you leave?
Because
Didn't
believe it
like
or
doing
not, record driver doesn't pay all that well.
Oh.
Like, it's not great. And
I
think
can't imagine
he
it would.
closed down the business. Like, I mean, I think it pays better now than what it used to. But he closed down the business probably when I was getting ready to go into college. I think it's about the time it closed down. Because AAA doesn't pay shit, and
Right.
gas is expensive, and insurance is expensive, and it's hard to get people to work. And
It's hard to get people to work anywhere.
so he said, fuck it, and shut it down.
So anyway, welcome back to Ignorance of the Law. If you joined us for the first part of this, you heard some interesting things and lots of words happened and things were discussed. Jason told a story after we were off the air, which you all missed, and it was fantastic and left me feeling dirty inside. But anyway, Kyle says that he's got more dirty things for us to discuss. So what you got?
This one's not too dirty.
Oh, well, I don't want it then.
It's actually nice and clean.
Why does that scare me?
The question is marriage legal in Texas? And I'm not talking about gay marriage or any kind of animal or weirdo whatever marriage.
You can't marry your car.
I just mean marriage.
It
Is
shouldn't
marriage
be.
legal
The
in Texas?
concept of marriage,
Yeah.
man and woman,
Yeah.
boy and boy, girl and girl, whoever that is, just the concept of being joined together in holy matrimony.
Yep. Do you want to know why I'm
I
asking
don't
that
know.
question?
I mean, that is...
Let
yeah.
me tell you why I'm asking that question. So this is the Texas Bill of Rights, Section 32, marriage. Part A. Marriage in this state shall consist only of the union of one man and one woman.
Okay.
All right, so that seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
It's
Adam and
kinda-
Eve, not Adam and
it's-
Steve. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Huh?
Part B. This state or a political subdivision of this state may not create or recognize any legal status identical or similar to marriage.
Wait, what? Reread
Exactly.
Reread that?
Somebody lawyer fucked themselves. Is
This
what happened.
Fucking rabbit
This
hole.
is-
It just
this
kept
is-
on going.
This is a big old lawyer fuck. This state or a political subdivision of this state may not create or recognize any legal status identical or similar to marriage.
Okay, here's what happened. So before gay marriage become legal, for people to get gay married, some states like come up with this thing, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was like being married. It was domestic partnership.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Domestic partners.
So instead of, and then you would have all the legal rights of being married without being called married to satisfy, people
So-
that didn't want you to be able to be gay married. So this was to stop domestic partnerships being recognized
So
in the
this
state
is
of
to
Texas.
say is absolutely man and woman, screw you fuckers in your domestic partnership.
Yes, but the way they worded it, it
Identical,
also
identical or similar to marriage. Well, isn't marriage identical to marriage? You can kind of see where they're coming from, but they worded it so badly.
That lawyer was drinking that day. He's
May
got
not
to have been.
create or recognize any legal status.
he also
identical-
may have known what he was doing. He may have just been working for the devil and realized what he was doing and said, "All right, I'll show you guys."
Or maybe he was in an unhappy marriage and wanted to get out of it.
Or that.
I I don't know. That's wow. So by trying to get rid of the
Domestic
partnership, they kind of nullified marriages.
Well, legally they didn't nullify anything. Apparently, though, this did make the news, and a lot of people were like going crazy, saying, "Are our marriages now valid or not?" And people really slammed the lawyers for their shitty wording, but it didn't really affect or impact anything.
What do you want? you're giving me like the SEAL Team 6 hand signals. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I need 2 dudes. What time is it in real life or in the recording?
What time did we start this back up?
I don't know. We bullshitted for way too long.
It's like 50 minutes.
Oh, I'm just gonna put that bullshit in.
Okay, that's fine.
We didn't say anything that's outrageous.
Cut it and put it at the end, so like if you want to stick around for it, you can.
Ooh, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, just cut it and stick it at the end.
Yeah, I
Cut,
might
paste.
I might stick it in the back.
That's what I would do. Stick it in the back.
I've heard you do that. Stick it in the back.
I mean,
hey, if that's what you want to do.
Like if it's my birthday, I guess she'll let me do it.
Only on your birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's in December, right?
Yeah, no.
You're going to be 47 this year?
No, fuck off with that 47 bullshit. I think I'm going to be 42 this year.
40? You think you're going to be 42 this year?
I think it's 42.
It is 42. You're 1 year older than me.
Yeah, so 42.
Haha, you're still older than me.
Yeah.
He doesn't look it.
Kyle's like 13. Are you trying to get in his pants?
No.
Dear God, dude. Leave, give y'all some room
I was
in
just
here.
making you mad.
It's alright, we wouldn't be allowed to get married in Texas anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. You and your wife wouldn't be able to get married in Texas now.
Alright. I'm also okay with that. We lived together in a domestic partnership for a number of years before we got married.
So here's the funny part, okay? Even though they have that new section on marriage that they added to their Bill of Rights, so that was Section 32, the original Bill of Rights, like the actual original Bill of Rights, has Section 3, which states the following. All free men, when they form a social compact, have equal rights, and no man or set of men is entitled to receive exclusive or separate public privileges. And equality under the law shall not be denied or abridged because of sex. So it sounds to me like the Bill of Rights in Texas already was
pro-gay marriage.
It was pro everything. It's just like, you're a free man, you can do whatever you want.
Well, unless you were a slave. I mean, the fact.
Well, they're not a free man.
The fact you had says a lot about
Yeah.
Well, but that sounds pretty fucking progressive to me.
It was,
for being
yeah.
Texas. It's
right. I think so.
As long as you're not a slave, you can be a gay or a
I don't think
non-binary.
I don't think when they wrote that they didn't realize gays were a thing.
Right. They weren't.
Gays have been around forever.
They have been, but they didn't really think it was a real thing.
Were they ignoring the gay thing?
No, gay people would get married, straight married.
But I mean, it says when
and then have fun on the side.
Right.
And it was a lot less rare.
So is that why they call it side piece?
No, they call it side piece because it's on the side. That's like
you
a new
just
term.
said they get married and have it on the side.
They have fun on this, like out of the marriage, they would have fun with other guys sometimes, and it would be a lot less in this culture.
So, do you think that would make old-timey swingers clubs a lot more interesting? Or
I don't think there were old-timey
I don't think that was
swingers
the thing.
clubs. Like those,
Really?
Those didn't exist until the 1940s.
You think?
I know so. I read a book on it.
They've written books on the history of swingers clubs?
Well, sex in America.
Because, I mean, there's stories of, like, writers during Victorian times, like in England and stuff.
It wasn't a
that are,
club.
like, members of sex clubs. And,
Oh, you're talking about like a feely club.
yeah.
Or the Hellfire Club.
Yeah,
that was-
the Hellfire clubs.
That's
Those
kind
are
of really
different.
swingers clubs.
Yeah, that's kind of different.
Swingers clubs is a very particular thing.
But isn't that pretty much what the Hellfire Club
No.
is? They go in and fuck each other and then go home, or
They
what?
had like the feely parties back to the Victorian era.
Okay, specifically, what was a feely party? You just go in and get felt up and then go home?
Well,
or?
sometimes drugs were involved, but it was kind of
Debauchery.
just like it was just general debauchery.
So it's like old time Bill Cosby.
No.
No, it wasn't rapey.
It was
It
consensual.
was like fully consensual.
So
for
fully
everybody.
consensual drugging, huh?
No, there was no drugs like for
No,
fun.
no.
Not for
It was
easy access.
It was
snorting coke off the hooker's ass. Okay, gotcha.
Well, I don't know if that
not
extreme.
tossing the roofies.
It was more just like a sensory experience. Like we're gonna turn all the lights off and play some music, and we're gonna have a sensory overload.
So it's like early raves.
Kind of. Yeah, that's a good way to
Kind of,
describe it,
yes.
actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna suck on pacifiers and drink water.
Well,
and,
ecstasy didn't exist, so it was different drugs. So they didn't have the pacifiers of the water.
You know, maybe we should research ancient drugs that had the same effects that our modern.
Did I tell you
drugs
guys
do.
about the Vikings?
No.
The shrooms?
No.
Is that what you're talking
So for years they've been trying to figure out what the Viking berserkers took in terms of drugs.
I thought it was shrooms. I thought that had been pretty much.
They've been debating it for a long time. The problem with shrooms, because they had all these theories. The problem with the shroom theory is that a lot of the mushrooms make you really sick to your stomach. And since the berserkers were going right into combat,
You don't want to have
you
the
couldn't
shits
be
when you-
vomiting. However, they found this herb that grows in that area. I forget what it was called. We could find it later or something. But
I want some of it.
It meets all the criteria.
We need to
And
experiment with this.
Here's the thing: it has one additional side effect that they didn't even consider.
Does it cure erectile dysfunction?
No.
Oh.
So this particular herb, when ingested in large quantities, it not only fills you with rage,
Makes your penis bigger?
and makes you go crazy. No, it acts on the part of your brain that helps you read human emotion and human faces. And so that explains like how they would go on a rampage and just kill anybody, is they literally couldn't read the emotion on people's faces. Isn't that crazy?
Wait, so they couldn't see that other people were scared to death?
They couldn't distinguish the faces.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And the berserkers, they don't know yet if they would just take the herb and just like suck on it or chew it.
Okay, so here's what I want to know.
I'll find it real quick.
How long has this been in trials with the U.S. government? Because you know damn well if this shit existed,
Well,
fucking armies are going after
the
this
U.S.
shit.
government did it one backwards. We no longer see the faces because we're sitting in a trailer in Nevada flying.
Yeah,
the
that's
plane.
right. We're flying the fucking
You don't even have to
drones.
think about the people. That's just you're just playing a video game now.
Yeah, which is, ugh.
Well,
I don't know. Okay. Side note, tangent, whatever you want to fucking call it. I have never understood, and folks, anybody listening out there, I was in the Army, so at least
Thank
I
you for
can
your
say
service.
that. Oh, fucking thank you for your service. Don't make me start that shit. So, you see these people out with the Vietnam hats or the carrier hats, and their service has become their identity.
Mhm.
I don't fucking understand how anything that you do becomes who you truly are.
Now, let me add an exception to this, because there's this dude that I saw who I thought it was the cleverest fucking thing I ever saw. Instead of wearing the hat that says Vietnam veteran or wearing the battleship hat,
He had the ears of all the people he killed?
No, he had on a hat, and all that was on the hat. And, like, you really couldn't even tell it was a service ribbon, but it was just the way it was set up. If you looked at it, you could tell. It was the Vietnam service ribbon. So that most people wouldn't recognize that and say, oh, this dude's in the
Right.
Army, he served in Vietnam. But if you were in Vietnam, more than likely you would... And then he could have a conversation with somebody that had a
Right.
similar experience.
And you know what? I'm 100% on board with that. But it's like, my dad was a Marine. And, well, I guess still is a Marine, since evidently you don't leave the Marines and you're always a Marine, according to him.
That's some good brainwashing they got going on in that
But
place.
he was in Vietnam. And he still wears the fucking USMC hat. He still puts the fucking license plate on his car. He still wears the fucking shirts. And he will tell anybody who's willing to listen, he was a fucking Marine. I don't understand it. I don't fucking understand it. You know, it's something that you fucking did. I don't go around making the fact that I took a shit this morning my entire goddamn personality.
Well, to be fair,
this is not my fucking life.
To be fair,
It's something I did.
He did something a little bit more than taking a shit. I mean, he was in combat.
But still, that was in the 70s.
It probably affected him for the rest
There's
of
been
his
like
life.
40 fucking... But I guess the problem is he's allowing it to affect him that way. Yes, there's PTSD. Yes, he probably saw shit that I'll never know, that he'll never talk to me about. But the fact that it's not just my dad. There's tons of other folks out there. And it's not just military. It's not just the Army. People who allow one thing that they happen to do become their entire personality and their entire entire life. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either.
One thing defining you as a person. This podcast is not Jason. This podcast is not Russ. We're
hurtful.
part of this, but you are not the podcast. You go out in the world and you don't go around telling everybody that you're part of this podcast or that podcast, do you?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, like, we're talking about shit.
If you're talking about podcasts.
Well, no, I mean, like, if it comes up organically, yeah.
But you don't go around, shoving it in people's faces.
I'm proud of the studio. I'll show off the studio. I'm proud of what we've built here. Like, I'll tell people about it. I mean, it's not like I'm wearing a shirt. Like, ask me about my shirt.
But it's not become who you are. It's part of what you are.
I would say it's a chunk of what I am.
You are.
No. Like, I have much bigger things that define me.
Exactly. Like your beard.
Yeah.
I mean, some people
your
don't.
Car.
Some people don't have bigger things that define them, and so they have to latch on.
Is
to one or
that
two
what
things.
it is? Is that they don't have those other things?
Yeah, a lot of people just can't find meaning in life at all. That's why we have so many people that are just upset and angry, and they just.
I think some of the people who hang on, especially veterans, that's their greatest accomplishment. That's what makes them feel like they've accomplished something within their life, and that's why they hang on to it so tightly.
To me, that's fucking sad because most of those individuals, they were 18 to 25 when that happened.
Yeah.
And here they are in their 70s, 80s, and that's still the one thing that they define their fucking life by.
The guys in their 70s and 80s, though, I cut a lot more slack because I feel like whenever they're doing that shit, they're looking for that camaraderie they had at that age in their life. Like, they want to, sit at the table with the old guys who were also in that war. And, maybe not with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to have that connection to other people now that their family's grown and maybe their wife's passed on or whatever.
Right.
Like those guys, a lot of times you'll see them early in the morning at McDonald's all sitting at the same table. Like, that's what those guys have in common, and that's why it's such a big deal. So I cut those guys. The guys that bother me are the guys in their 40s and 50s who are at work doing it.
Yeah, and it's like this is the only thing that they've got, and it's like part of me feels real sad for them that this is literally the only thing that they've got. And then part of me is like, it's their own fault that this is the only thing that they've got. So I don't know. Maybe that makes me a horrible fucking person.
I don't know. I feel like it's probably probably going to war is the hardest thing anybody can do in their life. But I feel like, I don't know if you would call that an accomplishment, but I would feel like it's the hardest thing in their life that got passed.
Yeah,
I'll take those people.
Now, I'm not talking about somebody that was in the Army in the 80s who never went anywhere.
Right.
Was stationed in Germany. Like, come on, dude, stop wearing the fucking hat. Come on.
Yeah, I don't have anything against the people that were legitimately there and doing whatever. What bothers me the most are the people that, for example, I've got a family member who was dishonorably discharged, not even a month after going out.
Did he have dildos with intent to distribute?
I don't know.
A whole case full of dildos.
But when the guy is just an absolute asshole anyway, and then dishonorably discharged, and then even though that happened, still claims, "Oh yeah, I was in service," all this kind of stuff, and it's real proud of it, and it's like, really, really, were you?
I think part of my issue is because I'm kind of embarrassed by the fact that I'm technically a veteran.
Right.
When
Some people are.
But when I went in, so 1996? Jesus Christ, I can't remember what year I fucking enlisted. It was the year I turned 18.
It was 96 then, because I graduated in 96 and turned 18.
Yep. So
year,
1996, I enlisted. I turned 18 in basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Fort Sam Houston to train as a combat fucking medic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back home, and I went to my reserve unit, and I went to do my little thing on the weekends. I spent my time, and then, okay, well, you know what? I've done my time. I'm going to go to the Ready Reserves. Nothing fucking happened. We never deployed. We just went to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, did our little training shit. We never deployed. Well, 2 months after I transitioned to Ready Reserves, I wind up, hey, our unit decided that, well, our unit didn't decide, but they deployed our unit. Okay, well, I wanted to go with my unit. So I start processing back in. By the time they got my paperwork done, my unit had already come back. I had 2 months fucking left, and my unit got back the month before my fucking paperwork was finished. So, okay, well, I'm just going to spend the last couple months going to drill, and then I was done. So, for me, my military service isn't something I'm fucking proud of because I didn't fucking do anything. I went through basic training, I went through AIT, I got a skill, and then I was fucking done with it.
Yeah, like, I understand your point.
And you still have to be a little proud of it, Russ, because like a lot of other countries, like a lot of the other countries that are more socialist than we are, they require some kind of service, and what you did would still be considered military service. Something could have happened. You could have been called.
Yeah, like that's my point. Is like you should get credit for the willingness. Like once you were in, if some shit went down, you wouldn't have had the choice. So you made the choice that if shit goes down,
I'd be there.
I'm going to be there. So like your willingness to make that decision should still count for something. I don't think you should get free breakfast every day.
Exactly. And I guess that's my problem is that we live in a society where, okay, I understand we had the draft during Vietnam. I understand that. But since then, we haven't had the draft.
No.
You have to register for it, but we haven't had it. We live in a society where our military is 100% volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, getting preferential service at that point because you volunteered for something, to me, and again, I'm probably going to get hate mail for this, but it'd be the first fucking email we've fucking gotten at ignorance of the law podcast at gmail.com.
It was so far off the rails, but it's fine.
I know,
enjoy the topic.
But what to me, it's akin to, hey, I volunteered to hand out water at the marathon, and now I expect special goddamn treatment because I handed out water at some fucking marathon.
It's a little bit different. You're probably not going to die at the marathon unless it's the finish line of the Boston Marathon in 2013.
Oh, ouch. Oh, too soon,
Like,
man.
I'm just saying,
Too
like, you're
soon.
probably not going to, like, you're not putting your life on the line.
But still, at
possibly.
but at the same time, man, it's like I said, you're a volunteer. You volunteered for it knowing what the possibilities are.
I still think, not thank you for your service, but I still think you should get some recognition for the initial volunteering. Now, like I said, I don't think you should get breakfast for free every morning, but I think on Veterans Day you should probably get breakfast for free.
And I'm not going to get mad if Lowe's decides they're going to stop giving me my discount. Now, I'll take advantage of it. God knows I'll take advantage of that discount.
Well, that's Lowe's making a marketing decision.
Exactly.
There's a lot of veterans in the world, and then a lot of people are going to look at that and say, oh, they're supporting the veterans. Let's shop there.
Exactly, but every fucking time I freaking go get the discount, they're like, thank you for your service. It's like, fuck. You know, again, like I said, I was a peacetime Army guy. I didn't do anything. There's plenty of other people out there who put their lives on the line, literally in combat, that don't get the recognition they deserve. But then there's this handful of folks out there that make it their identity. And again, it's not just military service. It pisses me off that there's people out there that one thing becomes that one defining thing about who the fuck they are for the rest of their goddamn lives.
Yeah.
And
some people are only good at one thing.
I'm not good at a goddamn thing at all. I'm not good. This shit, I'm not good. I'm not even a good IT guy.
I agree with that.
I can Google. I use Bing, which just shows how good of an IT guy I am. I don't even use Chrome. I use Edge. I use Microsoft Edge.
God, it's just disgusting.
So,
right there.
I should be outlawed in Arizona for intent to distribute. But what I'm saying though is, I'm not making. I don't make something that I'm decent at my life, and I don't think that. I don't know, what am I trying to say? That people who are defining their lives by one fucking thing is not right?
You've never met Aaron, my good friend that I grew up with since I moved out here.
No, the guy who was super Army, jumped out of planes and can murder people.
He's in Special Forces
with a look.
Now. Yeah, and now he's in training. He's aged out of Special Forces, and now he's doing Special Forces
teaching
training.
other people how to murder people.
Yeah. But every time somebody thanks him for his service, he's like, "It's cool, they pay me." A buddy of his got a tattoo that says "Freedom isn't free" with an eagle, badass eagle, and under it in the same kind of scroll work it says it cost $1.05.
Well, hell yeah. Freedom costs $1.05.
So, like, you know, like, a lot of guys get it. Like, you know, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this country worships the police and military. It's just who this country is.
I don't know. I mean,
it's a part of our culture ever since Vietnam. Like, Vietnam we didn't, and then we said, oh, we treated those guys really bad.
Yeah, so
and
now
then,
the knee-jerk reaction is we go so far over that line.
Yeah.
You know, the guys who went to Vietnam, they didn't have a fucking choice.
Most of them.
And we treated them like fucking shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, the guys who have a fucking choice, who are enlisting of their own free will and accord, we're treating them like they're on a fucking pedestal.
Well, I think some of the people who volunteer don't really have a choice. I think a lot of the people who volunteer, it's their only chance at having
anything.
a better life.
Yeah, at anything.
Well, that's why I've always said that we should just have mandatory military service in this country.
I would be fine with that.
I think there should be mandatory some kind of service.
Well,
I would say there should be a civil opt-out.
So I've always held that there should be a mandatory 2-year stint.
Sure.
You graduate from high school.
Yeah.
And this may be super fucking socialist of me. I don't fucking know.
It's the part of socialism that most Americans agree with.
But if you look at it, the percentage of people who get out of high school, they don't know what the fuck they want to do with their lives. They go into some college, they rack up some debt, student loan debt.
Yep.
Well, the problem with going from high school to college too is it's a different environment.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you go from being a kid to being an adult, and you don't know how to handle yourself.
Exactly. There's absolutely no transition. And you don't know what the fuck you want to do. You don't know what profession you want.
Yeah.
So you change your major multiple times, and so that's just more money for the fucking colleges. But you know what? If mandatory, you've got to go into the military or some sort of civil service. We're going to feed you. We're going to clothe you. We're going to give you a goddamn skill that you can use in the fucking world. And then...
if you don't want to go in the military, you start building bridges or building houses.
Right.
Exactly.
Or being a nurse's aide.
You know, and 2 years is long enough to go through some sort of basic training, some sort of job skill school.
Yeah.
Maybe spend a few months after that, because you're looking at about 1.5 years, you know, before you get into where, hey, look, let's actually be an army or whatever, and then you're almost done. Stay in if you want, leave if you want.
The sad thing is we're just now getting to the point where colleges are really being forced to have more like internship programs. Like before it wasn't forced. Like now we're actually getting to the point where most like engineering and technical schools are requiring co-ops.
Yeah, before that it was basically like medical professionals were the only people that really had to, like, no doubt had to do some kind of internship.
These fucking colleges piss me the fuck off.
Well,
anyway.
they're terrible.
They charge people tens of thousands of dollars to attend there for a semester, and yet they're paying their coaches millions of dollars a year to fucking go play football.
Here's the thing: is like this show is about the law. We're nowhere near there, which is fine. I'm interested in this
we
conversation.
went off on a tangent.
But here's the thing that always annoys me about that is that team brings in more than that.
Yeah,
money wise, like they're not taking that out of your tuition.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that team is bringing in many more times that amount of money of whatever they're paying the coach.
But why, if they're bringing in that much more money, why is that not subsidizing the tuition of the individuals who are going
Maybe
to
it
school?
is. Maybe tuition at that school would be that much higher.
How much are you fucking paying your goddamn
Maybe
teachers?
they keep the pot separate. Maybe the sports pot is its own thing, and it's just...
I don't know. I've just always... The two big colleges in this state...
Yeah.
They pay their coaches $6, $7, $8 million a fucking year.
Yeah, I think it's more than that, but yeah.
So, why does it cost so much to go to those colleges?
Well, one thing you got to think about those coaches is they're producing these winning teams and keeping that college in the national spotlight. So a kid who's into sports may decide to go to one of those colleges over one near him because, you know, he likes this team or, you know, he wants to be involved in this school that he's, you know, rooted for on the television. So for one, it's marketing. For two, those things make a shitload of money. Like my wife works at a store that sells college gear.
Absolutely.
You know, the school gets part of every T-shirt she sells, every hat she sells. Like, that's licensing.
But why can't that money go towards subsidizing tuitions?
Well, now, like, I think it just goes into the general pot of what, because the school is a non-profit organization. They're not there to make a profit.
No, but the people there that are working there are making a profit.
Well, yeah. I mean, you should get paid for your labor.
You can't fucking tell me that one of these basketball coaches has enough labor involved to warrant $6, $7, $8 million a fucking year.
No, they're that good. Because if they don't pay them that, someone else will. Like I don't like the sports balls either.
But I guess that's where the whole system's broken. The whole, if we don't pay them that, somebody else will. Nobody should be fucking paying them that fucking much to begin with.
So you want to outlaw college sports?
No, I'm saying if you're making that much fucking money off of these kids who are playing sports,
pay the kids.
Pay the fucking kids. If you can't pay them while they're in fucking school, you know what? Put them in the trust funds that those kids get possession of when they reach 30 years old. I mean, then when they have a fucking career-ending injury,
they're going to lose money.
But that way, when they have a career-ending injury, then maybe they've got a little something to fall back on. Instead of just, oh, sorry, so sorry for your fucking luck. You're off the team. And by the way, you were on a full-ride scholarship because you were a basketball player. You're no longer in school now.
I think there's rules against them pulling the scholarship because somebody gets career-ending injury hurt. I think they have to continue
there may
to
be
provide
now, but it's happened in the past.
I'm pretty sure that they have to let them finish the scholarship if they got hurt in commission of the sport. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works.
I don't know.
I could be wrong. Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know. It just
believe it or not, I didn't get a scholarship to go play the b-ball.
Yeah, I
thought you said you were a lineman.
I'm surprised at your height with your stature.
I know.
I mean,
I played football for a year in high school. I didn't get no scholarships from that.
Why not?
Probably because I wasn't that good. Yeah. My team won one game.
Ooh.
The whole year.
Ouch. What position?
Left tackle.
Nice.
You weren't very good at tackling?
The ball just never seemed to come my way. I mean, I got a few during the year, but it wasn't enough to stop them from scoring more points than we did.
I've never understood. Well, getting back to the idea of people who allow shit to define their lives. Sports is another perfect example.
Yeah, of course.
People who have never played for a college team in their fucking life, probably didn't even attend the fucking college.
Love it.
They wrap their entire existence around that fucking team and that college and that game.
I got to take up for this a little bit. So, everybody knows my family is from the mountains. And those people are the most rabid, like you're talking about. Like, none of those people went to that university, but they're all diehard fans of that university sports team.
The one with the two initials?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The one in down the road, not here. And, you know, the reason for that is you didn't get TV back in those mountains. You got the radio, an AM radio at that. And those games were on every single radio because that's what you could get. And so these people grew up back there isolated from the rest of civilization, more or less, than their little tiny mountain community, listening to these games. They grew up listening to them. Their parents listened. They enjoyed it because it was their contact with the outside world, and so they identified themselves with that sports team more so than the school. Like, the school it was this sports team, it was this announcer, it was this coach. They felt like they knew these people. Some of these mountain kids went and played at that school if they were good at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's more a cultural thing is why they're so wrapped up in that, at least around here.
But, okay, I can understand in the east side of the state where
those people don't stay there.
Hollers. But over here, even inside our big cities, folks that you know for a fact, they ain't got no redneck in them since 10 generations back.
Yeah, but that becomes like a family thing. Like, I broke it in my family, but you go back in my family for generations. Like, my mom still wears, she still watches all of the games. She still listens to them on the radio. Like, she still yells at the TV.
I don't understand that fanaticism. People who are wrapping up their identity, their existence around something that they have absolutely no control over. I used to work with guys, and you still work with the same guys. You can probably guess who I'm fucking talking about. Who act as if they personally coach those fucking kids, and is because of their efforts, their personal fucking efforts, that those kids won or lost. They are so depressed the next day after a loss, or they are so goddamn happy as if they just were handed a check for $2 million if they fucking won. I don't fucking understand it. You cannot tell me that you ain't got more issues going on in your fucking life than to give two shits and a stroke about who the fuck won that goddamn b-ball game last night. I don't fucking understand it.
I think that people just get passionate about things for
Yeah.
us. Just because you can't find passion in your life.
Oh, I got a
doesn't-
lot of passion.
I think they're just into it, man.
People do. People go to church. Like, people, they get little particular things they latch onto, and they just
Do we
love
want to
it.
start talking about church? Do we want
I'm
to
giving
get
it
into
as
that?
an example, Russ. For some people, the sports ball might be their church. Okay.
Which is really fucking wrong, but we'll get into that in another
Well,
episode.
what is God? God maybe doesn't care. Maybe God watches
No,
the
no, no.
sports ball too.
Tim Tebow says that God cares, damn it.
I don't know who that is.
He's a oblong ball player.
Yeah, he plays
Oh.
with the pigskin.
He plays the old pigskin.
And then he prays publicly on the field. He doesn't play that anymore. Didn't he go and
I don't
play
know.
like
I don't know.
football and then soccer and then tennis or something? And
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy.
I don't know. The girls got moist for him, and
You're asking the wrong dude. I don't have a
fucking know.
clue.
You look like a football guy.
I mean, yeah, that's why I was on the football
You look
team.
like a Tim Tebow guy.
I finally joined the football team because they were annoying the shit out of me every year.
Yeah, Bubba's having that problem this year too.
Yeah. It won't stop.
Evidently, they really want large guys that can block people.
Yes. Yeah, wide shoulders.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking hilarious. We walked in first day of high school, and the dude from the football table came running up to Bubba.
Mhm.
I was like, "You're gonna play football, right?" And he was like, "No, I have no interest in it." It's like, "Oh," and he shoulders dropped, and he just went head down all the way back to his table. It was fucking hilarious.
I'm glad I did it. I played for 2 years. I'm glad I did it my last 2 years of high school, but the fact we were on the most losing team in the district never really bothered. It sucked that we lost. I wish we would have won.
But you're doing it for fun. You weren't
hard
in it for the win.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't it wasn't. That was the least amount of my identity as far as my school.
You're not
life
still
went.
reliving your football years.
I mean, sometimes it is. There's some funny stories. I mean, sometimes, yeah. I
So-
mean, that guy was talking about Aaron, who's now in the Army and everything. Around here, they have the Friday night football games, highlights on the news. He was the hit of the week one week,
Right.
and he wasn't the hitter. He was the hitty, and we had recordings of that, and it was the funniest thing ever because he gets hit and then he crawls off the field because he can't even stand. It's hilarious.
I don't know. I don't understand the people who are still living in the past. I don't understand the people who let one thing define them. I don't know. Like you said before, I live under a rock, I guess.
People
I
let
don't-
things define them that they don't even know even exist. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like the people when the whole gay marriage thing came up, and the people who became so rabid anti-gay marriage.
yeah, right.
And it's why are you so outspoken about this?
You know,
is
that's
it because
one-
you're afraid you're gay?
Yeah, that's one I never understood. Abortion, I understand. I don't think you should be that rabid about it, but I understand if you truly believe it's wrong.
So
there's another life involved there. You
Okay,
feel like you're
so,
protecting.
So let's start with the abortion thing real quick, and here's my thoughts on that. I'm not for abortion.
Me neither.
I would not advocate somebody to get one, and I would not tell my wife not to get one or to get one. It's not my body. It's not my choice unless it's my kid, and then I feel I should have some talk in it.
Mhm.
But if you're religious and you have a belief in God, you would believe that God's going to be the one who's going to judge that person. It's not between you and that person. It's between them and God. If that is the reason you are anti-abortion.
Well, I'm not.
Now, if you're advocating for the life of that child, that's a different thing.
Which I think is what they feel like they're doing.
But I don't know where it becomes. We had this guy in high school that he was super anti-abortion. He was that kid. He had the anti-abortion stickers all over his fucking car. He
in high school.
In high school.
That's a weird
what
time
a
to start.
asshole.
He's made a career out of Walmart. Just so you know.
Wait, they're working at Walmart?
Yeah, not management, just at Walmart.
What?
Job when he was a junior.
He's been
and
there.
he's still
ever
there,
since.
and he was in school when I was there. Just so you know, he works the electronics department.
Dude, I'm telling you, that 25-cent raise a year though's probably got him up there at least $13.
Who knows, man? But I'll never forget. He came up to me and said, "What would you advise a woman if you were a doctor and a woman came to you and she had like 30 miscarriages and like if she got pregnant again, then she was going to probably die, and then what? Well,
Don't get pregnant.
She was pregnant. What would you tell her she should do? Would you tell her she should get an abortion?" I was like, "Fuck, I don't know. I'm not a doctor." He said, "Well, if you told her to get an abortion, you just killed Beethoven." It's like, what's your fucking point?
The dog or the musician?
I don't know, but I guess his point was that every fucking life has a possibility, but then again, you look at how many lives are just thrown away on random bullshit, then
Well,
what the fuck?
there's a direct correlation that's been proven between abortion becoming legal and the crime rate going down. I understand. I don't always agree with them, but I understand where they're coming from.
It's just like the correlation between massage parlors and sexual.
This is an actual proven correlation. This is cause and effect.
Well,
to some degree.
But they've shown that areas that get those massage parlors, the sexual predation and sexual crimes goes down in those areas.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I mean, everything's got cause and effect. But again, maybe I just keep to myself up on my hill too much, but I don't try and tell people how to live their lives.
But again, the abortion thing, I understand. If you look at it from the point of view that you're saving lives, if that's how you look at it, like I can see why you would actually go out and fight for that. Gay marriage, like how are they hurting you again?
Yeah, so I kept hearing that gay marriage was going to ruin
regular marriage.
Yeah. How does two dudes humping each other in the butt or two chicks scissoring each other gonna affect my marriage in the fucking least? How does that affect my marriage?
Sure seems like it won't.
It cheapens it. It makes marriage less sacred.
Are they afraid that it's gonna increase the divorce rate?
Well,
we've already got that.
Happen. I mean, that's
my whole thing has always been, you know what? Let them have marriage, but before you get married, somebody has to raise their hand and say, "I'm the one that loses half my shit when we have a divorce."
I wonder how a gay divorce works on that, because like certain states are very like slanted against men.
But what if it's two dudes getting a divorce?
Yeah, I wonder how that works.
Who gets half the other guy's shit? Or do they each get half of the other guy's shit and they just kind of trade halves?
Swap halves?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
You just have to ask him which one's the man.
Yeah, but they're we get into what defines a man, and then we're gonna
No, you don't understand.
No, I don't.
Which one of y'all catches?
Yeah.
Oh, which is the pitcher, which is the catcher?
Yes.
So are you saying that the method in which you get your sexual gratification defines whether or not you're a man?
Obviously it does, doesn't it?
I don't think it does.
I'm just making shit up.
I mean, doesn't having or not having a penis define your gender? Unless you're non-binary.
It's up for grabs.
Which I still don't fucking understand. Penis up for grabs, yeah.
Hold on. Let me trace back real quick. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents on abortion. First of all,
you're Catholic.
I am Catholic, and I still believe I don't have the right to tell someone else what is right or wrong for them to choose. And
Amen.
I also believe that God judges all of us independently. But those two facts in mind, I also think that if people are going to be so gung-ho, abortion can't exist in any way, shape, or form, then if they're going to be that pro-life, then they have to be pro-life across the board. They can't be pro-life when it comes to abortion and then be all about the death penalty.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't be about we're going to be totally pro-life, but also we're not going to worry about or donate to any of these organizations that exist to help pregnant mothers.
Well, also, in my opinion...
But to be fair, like, going on your point with, the Catholic thing, Catholic priests a lot of times are pro-life and pro-life when it comes to the death penalty. Like, a lot of the heavy anti-death penalty activists.
But at the same time, in my personal opinion, you cannot be pro-life and at the same time be pro-war.
Right, you can't be.
You can't, because what makes that unborn child's life more important than the life of somebody who's already
right?
Living.
And so the difference would be, so this is coming from an informed Catholic person who studied this pretty thoroughly. The difference is whether or not you are stopping injustice. If you can prove objectively that the war you're involved in is stopping greater injustice, then it must be done. For example, fighting the Nazis. If we hadn't stopped the Nazis and they had just done whatever they wanted, there's no telling how much worse it would have been and how much worse it would have continued to be.
But at that point, you're talking about the trolley on the tracks, like, problem. You've got a guy over here.
Right. You got to choose.
Or you can switch to the track with, or switch the guy to the one guy who's safe, or you're going to run over these 5 people. Like, at some point, you've got to be like, well, this war is justifiable. You're still going to have casualties that aren't evil. Like, there were plenty of Germans who weren't Nazis.
So one of my favorite funniest home videos is where the dad has taken the train tracks, you know, the tracks for little kids, and he actually creates that scenario.
The trolley problem?
And he's got 3 people laying on the track on one side and 1 person laying on the track on the other side. He has the train that's going, and he gets to that fork, and he says, all right, kid, which way should we make it go? If it goes this way, it's going to hit 3, and if it goes this way, it's going to hit 1. And the little kid sits there and looks at it and thinks, and he grabs the 1 and puts it with the other 3.
Runs over all 4. Yeah. Well, folks, I don't know how the hell we got onto this tangent like any of our other tangents. This is probably
this whole episode's tangent.
Yeah, this is our most political fucking episode I think we've ever had.
We're sorry.
Yeah, so if you don't like politics and you don't like what we said, stop listening. I don't
Send us
give a
an
fuck.
email.
Email, damn it.
You can complain about the veteran thing because you're a veteran thing.
Yeah, you have every right.
But I'm sure I'm going to get hate mail for it. Well, again, if I get a fucking email, I'd be happy. Show somebody was listening other than your parents, which, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Kyle's mom and dad, hi, how are you? It's good to talk to y'all again. I haven't seen y'all in a while. Miss y'all.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, anyway, folks, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for listening, as always. Thanks for joining us. I really do appreciate those of you who do listen. And, yeah, we'll talk to you next time.
Shut down the
So, you know, my
stream.
my grandpa was a World War II vet,